So yeah, can we talk about like the old crews? Like what crews was you in? Because you was in London Allstars.
Right. So yeah, the story behind London Allstars and where that comes about is basically originally when I first went Covent Garden, and I had my crew from school, which was DJ Renegade, which was Kevin, a friend called Alfred, and myself and another guy called Peter. So we had our crew from school. What had basically happened is when I went back to Covent, I joined up with a crew called, which we named it after, was with Nicholas, Dieterville, and Sergeant Victor, and then we had a guy called what's his name? I think it was, I forgot the name of the gentleman, but who used to do the busking for us, and the crew we were called was Cosmic Popfuls, and we, you know, and we Cosmic Popfuls.
Cosmic Popfuls.
Yeah.
Right.
But what the good thing with us is that back then, if you were a busker, you had to have like permit and everything. So we had proper.
You had permits?
Yeah, we had permits. Because what had happened before, when I first went Covent, I brought along Hofmeister. Because what had actually happened, I had to. When we were talking about the robot earlier, the guy who was the king robot around my way was a guy called Ryan. Yeah, Ryan Caesar. And he'd go anywhere where Sidewalk and Michael is, he would be, and he'd be doing his robot. And then what had actually happened, unbeknown to me, I've come home from school, and my brother and my family best mate is saying to me, "You got a battle." I'm going, battle what? Like, what are you talking about? And Ryan's offered you out for a battle. Now, I used to look up to Ryan, like this is me, do you know what I mean? This guy's amazing. And they're going, nah, Ryan's offered you out in a battle. Next thing, no, the door's locked. And I've never seen this before. I've opened the door, it's Ryan, and his face is like contorted in anger. And he's not even that sort of character. And he's gone, yeah, calling you out for a battle. And I'm like, God almighty. So I've had to go to me mate Ricardo's flat, his sister's flat, and I've had to battle Ryan. So obviously you got to battle to be king of your area. That's what I've always said to everyone, you got to be the don of your area, and I battled Ryan, ruined him, to be quite honest. Sorry Ryan, but you know.
Are you still in touch with him?
No, I've not seen him for years. He didn't talk to me for years. To be honest, he would talk to me, to be honest. And so what had actually happened is, gone to Covent, Cosmic Popfuls, and then I don't know what basically happened. I was so friendly with a lot of people, like, who started coming to Covent afterwards. Some of the early people that came Covent was Darnell. You must have heard legendary Darnell.
Darnell, yeah, pop up.
Yeah, pop up.
Yeah.
Bebop. Yeah, and so forth. So what had happened? I've gone like after school would be finished, and I'd be down Covent Garden, like straight down Covent Garden, and performing and busking.
So this is a night on a Saturday where it was.
This is in the week, man. I was like in the week. I was going there after school, in the week, like performing. Even when it was dark, I'll be performing. Right. So this is really early doors. Before, you know, people, you know.
This is before London Allstars.
Yeah, this is way before all that. And then what had actually happened was, I decided at that stage, like, I bought, obviously, which I understand now, Nicholas and Victor, and the guy who used to do the busking for us, Ken, they obviously didn't want me recruiting anyone to, because obviously the more people you get in your crew, the less money is going to be when you're sharing out about the money. But so my mind weren't registering like that. They're a lot older than me, so they're like, I'm just thinking about, man, just recruiting. So I decided, well, I'm going to make my own crew. And there was a movie called Capricorn 1.
I remember.
Yeah, Capricorn 1. And I just like the name of Capricorn, so I went, right, I'm gonna create a crew. I'm gonna call it Capricorn Rockers. So I created a group.
Was that the first crew?
That was my first. That apart from Cosmic Potfalls, obviously there was other crews. There were Sidewinders down in Covent at that time. The Sidewinders, which you know you had.
About South London Breakers.
Yeah, but with South London Breakers, it's interesting because the South London Breakers. I'll tell you about the South London Breakers is when we done Capricorn Rockers. A story related to this. I started recruiting, so Darnell was in Capricorn Rockers, early doors.
How about Billy Business?
Billy Business was Capricorn Rockers. Tassan, Hoffmeister, Killian, Duke. You know, so you got a lot of people.
MC Duke.
Yeah, MC Duke, because Duke was before MC, and he was a pop, you know, popping and locking,
yeah.
And basically, and there was a lot more. But basically, what happened was with the South London Breakers, straight away we had I'll never forget this. Early doors for Capricorn Rockers. So we're talking about this is about 82, 83. Straight away we had there's an audition that turned up. An audition where for an Italian milk advert. Yeah, so they created this milk which was in a can. And what actually happened was you had the South London Breakers, and obviously you had Dolby. Dolby obviously was in Sidewalk. And what happened, Dolby connected with the Witter Brothers and Special T, which, you know, if you speak to Dolby will tell you the rest of the story. And I'll never forget this. We had to do this audition in Busby's. Remember the nightclub Busby's?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Right. And that's where the Charing Cross Road.
Yeah.
And we had to do the audition for this, you know, whoever, you know, if you win this audition, then you get to represent in this actual video. And what's happened is, I'll never forget this, the Witter Brothers, they've gone up against Killian. So they've done their breaking, but they've done it came to the windmills. And I'll tell you this now, when it came to windmills, no one had legs as long as Killian's. He had the longest legs. And when he done windmills, his legs were like very wide and like quite far apart. So his windmills looked absolutely amazing. And I'll never forget, another thing with Killian is the stamina. And what's happened is they're doing the windmills. I think it was Mark Witter, and they're doing the windmills. And Mark is, obviously you ain't gonna want to get beaten at keep going, you know, with the windmills. And Killian didn't stop, mate. He kept going to this. He had to stop the other guy. Mark, I think it was Mark. He had to stop, and Killian, and that's how we got into that doing that video. And it was a 2-day video. The first day, I think the Saturday was Micron, and the Sunday was Sidewalk. And that's the first video we ever done. And so obviously what had happened with Capricorn Rockers, you know, it got to the stage where I first met Danny Francis, and Danny was with Zulu Rockers.
That's right. Yeah.
So, you know, met Danny, really hit it off with Danny, and what hit it off with me and Danny was the first thing Danny had said to me was like, he obviously probably heard about me, and he's gone like, show me your West Coast style. And basically that's what I've done. I've done the actual you know, the popping beat, basically, which I was obsessed with. And so me and Danny started hanging about and so forth. And so what had actually happened then is obviously you'd become like a crew. Do you see what I mean? So you'd become a crew. So it merged onto wherever you'd go, and there's any battles and blah blah, you're in a crew now. So but we didn't actually have the name at the time, if you get what I mean. So you were still Capricorn Rockers, who are represented, Danny Zulu Rockers, but you're still, you know what I mean, you're now big, it's like a family instead of crews. And so what basically happened with our London Allstars was a matter of we've now we do the big hip hop arena, which was on BBC, and so we've gone down, and this time now we're hanging, we're all hanging together. Done hip hop arena where we've had to go and audition in Lyceum. And that's,
I remember that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that actual audition was funny because that's when Danny does the caterpillar in that audition, and then he does the other thing where there's a move where Danny's like a dog, and he used to be able to do like the electric slide or the moonwalk backwards on his knees, and he'll pretending he's going, toilet like a dog. So him and Tassan were doing a routine for that.
Well, I need to edit that bit out for Danny, or will he get it?
No, he'll verify that. But it's actually blinding as it goes, to be honest. And then we've smashed that actual audition, and that's how we come on to that's how we got the actual Hip Hop Arena. And then for Hip Hop Arena, obviously, the other angle was now Dolby's, hanging with us as a posse and so forth. We also started getting bookings from Tim Westwood because Duke was tight with Tim, so we'd get doing performances in South Bank, etc. And then obviously Tim was GLR radio station, or
LWR.
LWR, sorry. LWR radio.
Yeah, because that brings me on to the pirate stations, because they was a major importance to hip hop.
They were
like it was the Invicta, JFM, and obviously LWR was the big one.
Mate, I mean, this is not, as we were talking about electro earlier, I'm not even joking. First time I ever heard Plait Your Own Risk, Planet Patrol, was Soul Spectrum.
Yeah.
Because my brother was a jazz funk boy, and so that's the first time I actually heard it. So Soul Spectrum, Greg Edwards and so forth. Without radio stations, you had nothing. And with Tim Westwood's show, LWR, and this is facts, is everyone who got access to any music. When I think of Tim Westwood, he always used to play, I tell you what tune, all the time was Debbie Deb. Look how weekends work, all the time. Used to play that, and with the introduction, they used to use a snippet of that song with, there's a movie, Can You Blow? Do you know how to blow? What's the actual actress, the old Lauren Bacall? And he used to play that, and Natasha King, AM/FM. FM,
and
down on your radio.
The important thing with pirate stations is because there was no internet around them times.
There's no internet.
So when there used to be a jam on, say for instance Drill Hall Jam or the Rap Attack Jam, Shore Theatre, or the Electric Ballroom or whatever, it will be promoted through the pirate radio station, and also with a flyer, which was a flyer that was given out outside, clubs or.
That's right. Which was the most important thing. I mean, I think people fail to realise radio was it. I mean, let's be honest, not every one of us had money to go and buy a 12-inch, because that's the whole point with electros. It weren't albums, it was 12 inches. The only way you could get hold of your songs would be by listening to the radio and using your cassette and pausing when the advert will come out.
The pause button.
Yeah, the pause button. So that's where you was getting your tunes from. Westwood, I have to be honest, back them times was like, I'm just being real, man. They
were the best time.
That's where your music was coming from, and so as you said, that was your, that was a kind of we call it now electronic flyer. That was a spoken flyer, wasn't it? Really,
exactly,
back then. But and then I'll tell you another thing that people forget. Like, for instance, so obviously being with Capricorn Rockers and Duke, with Tim Westwood, we had another thing about our crew was skate park. And there's something that happened that has never happened ever again in history. Ever. And I don't even know how the connection, who arranged it. I'd love to hear that. But skate park, right, was Saxon sound system.
Yeah.
Used to play in a skate park, in Childer Street, etc. with a sound system, and you'd have your roller skates. Nothing to do with hip-hop, nothing to do with soul whatsoever. And you bring your skates and you'd go around and the sound system, etc. Tell you what, I don't know how it was arranged, and I'll never forget it. And I don't know how people even heard about it. It must have been radio or something, but obviously we'd heard it from Duke and so forth, that we had to, where obviously because Tim Westwood's playing there, we have to go and perform and blah blah blah, skate Tim Westwood verse, I think it was Saxon at skate park. So it was either Saxon or a sound called Data or something.
Yeah,
database. It was either them or Saxon that. Yeah. But Tim Westwood.
I remember that. Yeah.
Right. This was, and as I said, it was one of them moments where you had to be there. That day was mad because we've turned up, Capricorn Rockers, and basically that day we've turned up. Remember the cage and so forth? We was in like a big skate rink next to where Millwall football ground is now, the new Millwall football ground is now. And we've turned up, we'll walk into the gates, and I'll tell you what, we were like the Black Beatles. These girls and all the kids were screaming their head off because we're walking down, we got a lino, and they are going nuts. And it was so bad that when we finally got into the cage, we literally have to run around we had to run around the cage to try and find somewhere to put the lino down. They wouldn't let us they were screaming and chasing us around. It was mental. And that's the first day I met Mark Monero. That particular day.
Was Mark a popper as well?
Mark was a popper. But that's where
most people would know Mark from, if they wasn't going with the hip-hop thing, they'd know him through obviously like EastEnders and The Bill.
Yeah, EastEnders, The Bill, and then Babylon. And I mean, if you was into hip-hop, he joined Truly Unique as well, with Moomin and Basil, Darnell and himself. But that's the first time I ever met Mark, and that day was unbelievable because I still don't know how that's the first time, because if you remember, which I keep trying to explain to people, there was only two paths when it came to music. You were either a soul head or you was a reggae boy. And to be a reggae boy or a soul head, you weren't like mates at all. You had to choose one of them paths. Hip hop comes along. This new hybrid hip hop comes along. And basically, from how Westwood got involved to do that sound clash, I don't know how it actually happened, but it's never been done since. But that day was like unbelievable. I'll never forget that day. It was unbelievable, unreal. That was like, if someone said to me what was the most special time in hip hop, I think it was that.
Well,
for me.
I was going to ask you that question, so you've covered it.
That was it, mate.
That was it.
That was just you know when you had to be there, and I tell you how powerful that is, Steve. As you know, is when you meet up with old school, you always reminisce, don't you? You can't help it, and you transport back to the 80s. I was on the train going to work. This was about 4 years ago, and me mucker Darren, we're talking. We catch up. We ain't seen each other for years, so we're talking about old school and so forth. And you know what actually happened? He's gone. I don't know what happened. Skate parks come up, and we've gone silent. And all we've done, I'm no joke, I'll never forget, we've gone silent, we've gone like that, like, do you remember that? And he's like, God, mate. And that was a moment, like, that day was unbelievable.
That was a moment.
And a big shout out to Belinda, because there's a girl at the time that I met at the time there, Belinda. big shout out to her. That's the first time I met her. But then, you know, from there is obviously, as I said, you had your crew, and what London Allstars, what come about, we're all together. And basically, what basically happened was when we performed at the GLR Hiphop Jam. You look at the posters, you'll see it says...
GLA, yeah. Greater London Authority.
Yeah, Greater London Authority.
Yeah.
And then you'll see GLA, sorry, and you'll see ex-Sidewalk and ex-Zulu Rockers.
Yeah.
And then it was Dolby said, like, they were answering us at the time, like, what's the name of your crew? What you got to give us a name to perform. And we were struggling because we didn't know, you know, what to come out with. And it was Dolby who's gone London Allstars, because before this we'd just done a video previously for PART2 called 01.
Yeah.
We done a video for that, and actually had that video as well, funny enough, but Offmeister borrowed it to this girl, and Dad ended up bringing it back in the video recorder and losing that tape. But yeah, and that's where that was the first time London Allstars. And then what had actually happened is, then from the London Allstars, obviously it got whittled down with Danny Dennis, originally Danny Dennis, Dolby, Flipski and Milton, and then later Breaker King joined. Yeah.
Breaker. Have to give
and that Special T.
Have to give a shout out as well to like Live to Break.
Live to Break, man. Live to Break, as I said, is Billy, my boy Billy, man. Love Billy.
Yeah.
Love Billy, man. That's deeper than a brother. Billy. And people don't realise me and Billy goes back deep. You know what I mean? We go back deep, man. I love Billy, like, you know.
Was Billy South London or East?
Billy's South London.
It's South?
Yeah, South London.
And obviously later on for Billy it was down with London Posse, but...
yeah, but Billy was originally, like, Billy's signature was Spider Billy.
Spider,
so when he was so before Live to Break, in Capricorn Rockers, obviously Spider Billy, man, that's what Billy's known for, is Spider-Man.
So you used to do it Spider.
That's what he's known for. And then Airborne as well.
Yeah.
Airborne, my man, Airborne, like, so this is before Live to Break. With Airborne, that guy, mate, it's the fastest windmills I've ever seen in my life.
Did he do like the no-handed windmill?
Fastest. I remember me, because as I said, at this time in Covent, we're all, even though you're in your crews, you're all like a family, so you'll travel to all events together, we'll go anywhere to burn and battle people and so on. But I remember I'm talking to Special T at this point. We're down in North London. I can't remember what we was doing at this event, but I'll tell you what I remember about this event, that Michael Moomin, MC Mello, which people know, remember Michael kept telling, I don't know who was DJing at that time, to play the flip side of the show, and it was La Di Da Di.
Yeah.
And Michael's losing his nuts on that song. He kept like having that song played after. But at that event, mate, I'll never forget, me and T's talking about something, Special T, I don't know what we're talking about. And Airborne started doing these windmills. And I remember me and T just looking at each other and our mouth
wide open.
Honestly, it's the fastest thing. He had a pair of red Lee jeans on. And it's the fastest thing I've ever seen. It was like, it was mental. I never forget that, mate. Fastest windmills I ever seen was, Airborne. Yeah.
Unbelievable. But also, Mark, another question I got for you is this is a toughie as well, and it can be absolutely anything, like musical wise.
Yeah.
But have you got a top five all-time favourite tracks? Can be reggae, can be pop, it can not pop, but pop rock, or it can be absolutely anything.
Anything.
A top five in any order as well, any order.
Right.
A track that really means something to you.
To me.
Yeah.
All right. I'll tell you top five. Obviously, it could be more, but I'll give you a top five because I'm a DJ as well. I can do that, and I'm involved in something as well where I'm asking people to certain things about top 5 song. For sentimental reasons, Rocket Love, Stevie Wonder, from the Hotter Than July album. And when I name songs, it's always denoted to, it's connected to an individual, and that's my brother Chris. Yeah. So my brother Chris, that's the love of my life, my brother Chris. So Rocket Love, Return of Captain Rock. On the dancing front, because I mean that song I used to go mental to, and then also in '83 the Electric Boogaloo, or basically they were Skeeter Rabbit, Sugar Pop and Poppin' Pete, who I said Poppin' Pete's my ultimate. They done the actual performance at Carnival. That's what you'd see on YouTube. So that. The next song would be Change, Let's Go Together, because it was that song that I'd say kind of spurred me on to like get into I'm giving up hip-hop, I'm going to be a built boogie boy. Rebel Without a Pause. When I first heard that song,
it's funny you say that. That was also DJ Supreme's in his top 5 as well.
God,
it was a game changer, wasn't it?
Oh man, as I said, the album itself is, they've always said Sgt. Pepper changed, revolutionised music forever.
Well, that Public Enemy album,
that takes a nation, that revolutionised. That is a Sgt. Pepper. For me, that's the #1 hip hop album of all time. But that song, never heard anything like it. When that
I mean, even the album before that, Public Enemy #1. Even that.
Yo Bum Rush the Show.
Yeah, and Public Enemy #1.
Weighs
a ton.
Oh come on, man, unbelievable.
But you're right. When Rebel come out, that was even like what?
What you didn't know what to call it.
You like when we heard Scorpio in '82.
This is the same
kind of feeling.
And what do you call that? Because you thinking when you first heard Rebel Without a Pause, you're like, no one's made anything like this. I mean, previously or thing, you're blown away. And then my 5th song, I'd say, would be Cameo. What song on Cameo? It'd be Sound. I think it's Sound. Is it Soundgarden from Cameo?
Yeah, great.
Sound Table. Sorry, I think it's Sound Table. That'd be my song from Cameo. When you hear that, you know what I mean. You throw some shapes.
Yeah. Last and final question, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to, sort of past and present?
So, shout out, obviously past, biggest, respect and love, man. My boy, Sipo. I like to say a big shout out. I don't know for sure where he is or wherever would be Darnell. Always had a lot of time for Darnell, man. Great person. Old Capricorn rockers, Tasso, Killian. I mean, we're in contact and so forth. Basically, the whole of Covent Garden. Do you know what I mean? And there's names I can call in Covent Garden: Indian, Robert, Dana. There's loads of names that I know that people wouldn't know because they came later in generations. But the only, Lorraine Sinclair. Tracy Donovan from our school, who used to go down to Pineapple as a dancer in Pineapple Studios. Who else I'd call that? Just basically present. I've just all my Covent Garden posse, man. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, Mark, it's an absolute pleasure to have you in the Ultra Club. It really is. I mean, I've learned a few little things there as well.
Yeah, man.
And I can't say, it's just been an absolute honour to have you in the back of the
no problem, brother.
And it's been a pleasure. I really do appreciate you coming in.
That's cool, man. My pleasure.
Well, I'm gonna have to wind it up now because, but no, it's a real honour.